We can always edit it out. All right, it's recording. I'm gonna see if it's gonna yell at me again because, like, literally every week it does. It just decides, hey, there we go. See, it doesn't have to be difficult.
Yeah.
It's not me. It's this fucking thing. I swear. Cool.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Zoom.
We'll cut.
Everybody uses it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. All right, it's only month 6 of the quarantine and having to use Zoom to do normal shit that everybody should know how to do already, anyways. Ashley was watching this, like if Hogwarts was doing Zoom classes like video, and it was 8 minutes long. I was like, why does this need to be this long? Like, we got the joke in the first minute, and it was just like, oh,
Yeah.
now Voldemort's here, and it's like, yeah, why does Voldemort need to be there? Like, I don't
Too many.
I don't know.
Yeah, too far.
Yeah, you're just like, or make it a second video. Don't do it all in one video. Like, I know we're not good at the internet yet, so I mean, we shouldn't talk too much, but like, be better at the internet. Like, it's just
Yeah.
because it has Hogwarts on it. Welcome to Browns Out of Town.
There it is.
I mean, whatever. Who cares? I'm Ray Roberts. That's Jimmy Crawford. Everything Browns, just not in your town. Want to stay in touch with the Browns, even though we're not in Cleveland anymore. Look up at Browns Out of Town on all the social medias, but especially the Instagram, where we do Cigar Sundays, which are actually fun. It's a good, nice little recap there.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It is fun. We're going to do clips again at some point. Last week we were rushed because we recorded on Tuesday, put it out the same night. Like,
Yeah, it's a whole professional production over here. Yeah.
we're doing great. If you want to have a better production, rate, review, subscribe, share it. Give us money to do it. I still have to sell generators, and Jimmy still has to deliver pizzas. Like, that's what we're doing to run this year.
I wish it was delivering pizzas.
Probably make
No, I
more
don't.
money.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to deliver pizzas.
That's this guy that sat across from me. He's like, he's going into IT at our company, and he was like in sales, and he's like, I'm just excited to go back into IT. And I was like, yeah, my buddy does IT for like a pizza company. He's like, what does that even mean? I was like, it's more than generators. We'll say that.
Yeah. There's a lot more to it than you. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Like, once you told me about it, you're like, oh yeah, shit, obviously. Like, that makes way more sense than what you would think. Like, nobody buys pizza over the phone anymore. Whatever. We're gonna swear every once in a while. Browns fans. All stats are from Pro Football Reference. I don't know if that's where Jimmy got his stats this week, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna say they were. And then all betting odds. The one thing that we look at now are from FanDuel, and I have a bone to pick with FanDuel officially. I know it's not their fault, but I went down to Illinois to take care of some of like the legal things that are legal down there and aren't in other states. And one of them is gambling. And while I was in line at the legal weed store, because it's legal there and it doesn't matter, it's an hour away, it should be legal everywhere. I wanted to place a bet. And it was like, hey, we still couldn't tell who you are as a person because they use a third-person authorizing site. And since I had moved, even though my license is Wisconsin now, my everything's Wisconsin, I'm like caught up on everything. I'm even like registered to vote here. And they're like, we can't verify that it's you based off of your address. So like now it won't even let me go back and put in my old address to be like, look, this is my old address. Let me put money on your site. So it wouldn't let me put any bets.
Yeah, but isn't it illegal in Ohio too? So why would your Ohio matter?
They just need to verify that you are that person, and as long as
okay, gotcha. It's not like a residency thing; it's just an identifying thing. Okay.
As long as you're in the state that you're doing it, because they like verify your location when you go on there through like your phone. As long as you're in that state, it's legal. So,
you think it's because you did everything so recently, like your ID changed and all that? That's got to be it.
Well, yeah. It's 100% it, but like I got in contact with like their customer service, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll put in my old address. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Let me do that. And they're like, yeah, you're already past that point. So it's like, well, fuck. Now I just have to wait for it to update, which is, I guess it's fine. I only would have won like.
So the state just hasn't sold your information to a third party yet.
Pretty much, that's what it is. Like, nothing else is caught up.
Yeah.
But whatever, it doesn't matter. I like how it's just the local news section now. I missed that.
I don't know.
So I don't know, like we say, like we have a doc that we read off of and kind of keep us on track because obviously I'm gonna take us off track 99% of the time, and so I just put like I kept the How's Wisconsin section, and then we have the fantasy football update, but like we just made it local news. So this is basically a news show now. Um,
Yeah, basically at least 3 minutes of it.
yeah, fuck it. I mean, how's
So
Wisconsin?
accurate too.
Wisconsin's
I
fine.
mean,
Oh yeah, only facts
that's
here.
good.
I mean,
Nothing.
I'm not gonna retract the
Yeah,
alien
100%.
thing from last week at all. Um,
No.
even though it's just the blimp, and like, but I knew it had to have been some sort of commercial. Like you know what it is. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you sold it last week. I was excited. I went and immediately looked it up, and then it's the Goodyear blimp.
yeah, somebody, and then like as soon as I got off, I saw on Facebook that it said like somebody pointed out that it was the blimp, and I was like, well, it's there,
Yeah.
whatever. People will
I
find it.
saw I saw like the first couple images without them realizing it's the blimp, and I was like, that's the blimp. That's the Goodyear blimp. Like it used to follow me when we lived in Kent. Like I've seen that thing a million times. Like it was like Goodfellas. I was looking behind me, and there's a fucking blimp every. But
What was it on? Like, didn't Conan have like Gary Busey being followed by the Goodyear blimp?
yeah, I think so. I think Conan had his own blimp though, didn't he?
Maybe. I
I think
love
he
it.
had his
Like
own.
old
Yeah,
Conan was so good. Like
yeah,
on CBS or whatever, or NBC, whatever one it was
yeah.
on.
The Late Show instead of or the yeah, not the Tonight Show, but the other one, whatever it's called.
Yeah, the one afterwards. But no, Wisconsin is cool. I went and did a mic last night at this cool place called the Bremen Cafe, and it was like one of those life-saving sets where you're like, I was just bumming all weekend. I don't know what the problem was. So I was like, here's Ray's depression update. But like, like it was just like I couldn't snap out of it, and then just like my brain felt heavy, and then I went and like actually did a set, and there were like non-comedians there, so there was an actual crowd,
So
and
an
it was
audience.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it was like, and I'm at the point of like I'm not that funny to other comedians because I'm not like edgy and like trying to write those jokes anymore to impress other comedians. So I get that like there's a level of corniness to my set now that like normal people will like, but those are the people who pay money for it. So it was like nice to
Yeah.
have people be there and be like, okay, this is funny. It's just these other people are assholes and don't understand how comedy works. So it's one of those fun things.
Gotcha.
So we're back. Everything's good. Your president visited Toledo. How was that?
Yeah. I don't know. I just saw that he was in Toledo. He's at the airport, I guess. A friend of mine posted a picture that Air Force One flew over her house and like had a picture of it and everything. That was cool, like midair. But
That is kind of cool.
yeah,
This is usually the Toledo missing kid update. Are there any kids missing now that Donald Trump's not there anymore? Because
not that
he
I know
is
of.
known
I
to hang
think
out with people who
I
steal
think him
children.
and QAnon. I think him and QAnon released all the missing children from Toledo. So
Hmm. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I bet you QAnon would live in Cleveland. Cleveland, Toledo. Sorry.
there's probably a lot of QAnon in Toledo. Yeah, I'm sure.
Fucking losers. Um, Alien update. It was just the blimp. Sorry. Um, fantasy football update. It was fun watching the Lions Packers game was a fun game to watch because like the Lions were up by 14, then the Packers came back, but then I realized that Aaron Jones was on the team opposing me in fantasy football, and he scored like 40 some points and just complete like that's what I lost by is Aaron Jones's entire score. It was insanity.
Yeah. Aaron Jones won me my league, so I'll take it. That's good. I needed
God.
that. I think I had 45 points from him.
Yeah, I'm crushing it in like the old college league. Like I scored like 160 points in that league. Like I was
Nice.
crushing it. But 2-0 in that one, but I'm 0-2 in this one, in my work one.
Yeah. I'm 2-0 in the work league and then 0-2 in the other league I'm in, but it happens. Turn it around, hopefully.
I need to. Yeah, it's only week 2, so I'll end up losing the Angel League and end up like middling in the
Right.
work league. NFL news, random NFL news. I mean, because I was bitching about before we came on, the mask mandate got moved from, it was supposed to be literally next week, like next Monday it was supposed to be done, and it got moved to the Saturday before Thanksgiving here in Wisconsin. But like everybody in the NFL, like all the coaches that aren't wearing a mask are getting fined. And I think it's the most like wear your mask obviously when you're in public. I'm not like anti-mask, but like the whole point of them getting tested every 5 fucking seconds is to know that they don't have it. Why are they wearing the masks?
Yeah, I didn't understand that. I don't understand how if like why they need to social distance or wear masks if they're being tested every day. It doesn't make any
Yeah, that's
sense.
the point of the test. Like, and then
I mean, I guess they
like,
have to factor in like the so many false negatives, maybe, but
but even you're testing the next
I don't know.
day, and then you just shut it down for 2 weeks. Like
Well,
the
yeah,
like,
I mean, if you're going to get a false negative on a coach, you're going to get a false negative on a player who's not wearing a mask ever,
yeah,
on the sidelines or anything either. So I think it's stupid, but
it doesn't make sense. And the biggest thing, and people are like, oh, it's so people at home like see. It's like, all right, if you're an adult and you can't tell the difference between a
yeah,
multi-million-dollar a year athlete who gets tested
yeah,
every day and whose life is worth more than yours,
right.
honestly. Like
I
if you
know
look at
that I
dollars and
wasn't
cents.
tested 7 times in the past 7 days, like that I
Yeah,
could possibly have it. Yeah,
and it just doesn't it's insanity. And then you have fucking everybody getting hurt from not playing football, and now everybody's hurt. Like
yeah,
throw a rock in the NFL and you hit a hurt player, and we're
yeah.
worried about the coaches wearing masks.
Yeah, a couple of the big ones I had listed, and I mean Tyrod Taylor's not a big one, but I thought it was an interesting one. He was showing chest pains in the pregame. I didn't realize he was like a very late scratch. It was in the pregames that he was scratched from the game with chest pains. I don't think
Yeah,
they
I was
said what it
watching the
was yet,
game.
but um,
They said that he had like a rib injury like the week before
oh,
in
okay,
practice. So I put it on the Rosillo podcast, actually went into it pretty deep, because that was the late game, I believe. So they talked about it. The guy that he had on there was like talking about how like Herbert didn't have the closer gene, which is completely separate from this. But like he was like texting somebody from the Chargers, and he's like, so it was Tyrod like really hurt in warmups, or are you guys gonna get in trouble for not like disclosing an injury? And I guess it was like, according to this guy, it wasn't like an official breaking story. Like it was bugging him during the week, but it didn't stop him from doing anything. Like he hurt a
yeah,
rib or something, and then in the pregame warm-ups, like it just like got bad.
yeah, that's weird because the way I heard it, it sounded like it was like a heart thing. The way they said like chest pains, you'd think they would say that was a rib issue or something specifically, but
Yeah, it was really weird, and he's got the worst luck of all time. Like
yeah.
he's just gonna lose his job now because
Yeah,
Herbert
I
looked
know.
good.
Yeah, he looked good. There's no and the coach of the Chargers is a moron if they go back to Tyrod Taylor with how good he looked. So
Dude, Hugh Jackson wanted to do it. Why the fuck wouldn't this
yeah,
guy?
well, that's the reason Hugh Jackson's not here anymore either. So
Some people
um,
want him back after fucking. They wanted him back after Freddie Kitchens, and
s-
that's just because Cleveland fans are
yeah.
stupid.
Speaking of rib injuries, did you watch any of the fights this weekend?
I didn't.
Colby Covington versus Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley had Colby in a guillotine on his back, and his rib like popped out of place or something, and he screamed out in pain, and they called it. Like I don't know what happened, but I've never seen somebody like audibly scream in a UFC fight like that. It was crazy. He said it was like the worst pain he's ever
Gross,
experienced.
dude.
Yeah, it was. You couldn't see anything. He just immediately just started screaming. Like it didn't even look like there was like any impact that caused it. It just the force of him trying to like crank on Colby's neck pop something out or something. I don't know. That was crazy, but just made
That
me
dude
think of.
has like fallen apart quicker than anybody else. Like
I
he
didn't realize
ran
how
that
old he is.
division
He's
forever.
yeah. He's. I didn't realize how old he is. He's 38.
Oh, I didn't realize he was that old.
Yeah, yeah, but
Well, he had that shoulder injury that like sidelined him for a while, so that
yeah,
probably took a
but
couple years out of him. But yeah, big names that are hurt: Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Nick Boza, Jimmy Garoppolo. I had Raheem Mostert's out for most of the season. Like
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. The Niners got decimated. Yeah, the Niners had a bad week
I
because
think like their
Garoppolo got hurt
cornerback
too.
said that I think or Richard Sherman I think was hurt for a little bit too.
Sherman got hurt last week, I think, didn't he? Or in week one, I think he got hurt. So they're having a
Yeah, and
rough couple weeks here.
I think it's gonna happen. Like I think it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, hopefully we got all of ours out of the way before the season started, and we can start getting some guys back and keep everybody healthy as we go. But we're going to lose somebody.
Yeah, and that's my big question. We'll get to it later. Is the defense that bad, or is it because of injuries? But we'll talk about it more. Adam Gase and Matt Patricia are the two worst coaches in the entire league. Like, I don't know what's like the Lions looked good, and then I don't know if like the Packers just decided to play football, or if Matt Patricia doesn't know what to do with a 14-point lead.
I think he doesn't know what to do with the lead. Because I think they said I read a stat that like the last 5 games, like including last year, they've blown double-digit leads. So 2 this year, and then like the last 3 games of the 2019 season. And you can get fired for looking good but not being able to close. People have been fired for less. So
Yeah, they were talking about it on McAfee because the one guy's like a big Lions fan, and they were like, they're cursed because they didn't pay Calvin Johnson his like $1 million,
yeah,
and because they fired Jim Caldwell after a winning season,
yeah, after 9-7, yeah,
and then
yeah,
they brought in Patricia. Like it
I
doesn't
know.
make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. But
And he seems like a nice guy, and he seems like a good coach, but like they're just garbage.
yeah,
Where Adam Gase is the exact opposite. Like he seems like he's not a good person. He seems like he has no idea what he's doing. I don't know how he got that job in the first place. Like he wasn't good in Miami, and then he goes up there and he's just not good either. And then he was the GM for a little bit too, and all of his GM decisions were terrible as well.
yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking PJ Fleck ends up with the Lions next year. Hot take.
Really?
He's a Michigan guy, I think, isn't he? I mean, he coached at Central or Western. Where's he from,
But
though?
he's gonna leave Minnesota for that?
I know they just locked him down, so the Lions would have to like pay a ton. They'd have to like buy out the contract. But
And he's almost like he's like one of those like I'm making Minnesota like a real program, and he's doing a
yeah,
good job at it.
yeah. I'll be interested. I'm glad we're not playing him. Ohio State doesn't have him on the schedule this year. I think Michigan opens with Minnesota, which is a tough
That'll
game
be
for them.
tough.
Yeah,
That'll be real tough. I think Michigan, just because Harbaugh like wanted to like play so badly, I feel like they're just gonna be trash. Either that or they're gonna be really good, and he knows they're gonna be trash in like a couple of years, and he's got
right.
like an NFL gig lined up.
But
Um,
Gardner
yeah,
Minshew.
that's Gardner Minshew. He's the best quarterback in the league, possibly.
Yeah, they lost this week though. Like, right, they're 1-1, but from what I've seen, he looks great. Yeah, and that mullet.
I don't know why.
It's
Like
all
last
looking
season, he had a
perfect.
couple of good games, and
Yeah,
then like he just sucked the rest of the season. So like maybe he's good.
yeah, yeah. I don't. We'll see. We play him in a couple weeks. So,
Oh, that'll
and
be
by a couple
fun.
weeks, I mean probably 2 months, but still.
Yeah, we'll get to it at some point.
Yeah,
Oh, I want to talk MVP. Yeah, Cam Newton, like the Patriots lost, but like everybody's in love with Cam Newton. Like this is what he's always done. He's always been good. But
yeah,
like I'm almost afraid it's going to be Carolina Panthers Cam Newton again, except for like the Super Bowl year, obviously. But like they never did anything,
yeah,
and like he just like he looked good, but he didn't win that many games.
yeah. I mean, he's gonna look. I think he's gonna look good. I think he's healthy. I think he's healthier than he's ever been, but with the year off last year, so that's obviously in his favor. The bottom line is that you can't rule them out as contenders. They could win the division, and people had him last in the division. Once Tom left, so
I think the Bills are winning that division.
probably. But you never know what could happen with Josh Allen. So,
That's true.
but Russ
Russell
Wilson,
Wilson, dude,
good.
Jesus' favorite quarterback.
Yeah, yeah, he's looking real good.
He
I
looks
was
good.
this
That's
close
my
to drafting him in one of my leagues, and I ended up with Cam. But
yeah, I have Cam Newton as well. Like I feel like they're gonna end up running the ball later in the season. Oh shit. This is some video content.
yeah, there we go. What'd you unplug?
A light.
Oh, nice.
Like I moved it to the other like this is the best lighting I've had in the history of this podcast, and
Yeah,
it's because the light is behind the computer and instead of like behind me.
yeah. That's where I
Uh,
have mine too. It's right over here.
yeah, but it's like the cord is too long and it's under the table or too short, and I kicked it.
Yeah. Hey,
Um,
before we move on to the Browns stuff, who's your surprise team so far this year? Like, who's your surprise 2-0 team, and who's your 0-2 team? Like, who do you think shouldn't be in those positions? Off the top of
um,
your head.
I don't know who shouldn't be 0-2 is probably the Eagles are 0-2, right? I don't think they should be.
Yeah, Eagles are
Um,
0-2.
the
Lions,
Cardinals are
Vikings,
2-0.
Cardinals are 2-0. Yep.
That's kind of I wanted to talk about that in the preview for week 3 is are we as good as the Cardinals or are we as good like are we closer to the Cardinals or are we closer to the Eagles? But
Based
we'll get
off
to
of
that.
Washington's opponents. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my,
Um,
my surprise team has to be the Raiders. I mean, they looked pretty good last night against the Saints. Did you watch any of that
I
game?
didn't get to watch any of it at all.
I watched a little bit of it. I was facing the tight end. I forget what his name was. I think it was Walker, and he ended up getting 2 more points than I needed him to, and I ended up losing. But so I
Mm.
was trying to keep an eye on it for that. But they looked really good for, especially how they played last year. They didn't have that great of a season, so I was surprised by that. And then the Texans are 0-2. I thought the Texans should be better than that too.
Well, I mean, look at I'm not surprised by that because they opened with Kansas City,
Right.
then Baltimore. I mean, they got spanked by
Oh, they played
Baltimore.
Baltimore last week. I forgot they played Baltimore last week. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
and
unfortunate.
then
That's
it's
that's an
Pittsburgh
awful
next week.
schedule.
Yeah, they start
That's
with
a
Pittsburgh
terrible
this Sunday
schedule.
too. So like they
Jesus.
might go 0 for 3.
Yeah, they probably will. That's rough.
Pittsburgh's 2-0, right? They ended up
Yep.
winning. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they beat Denver.
Um, yeah. So I mean, I'm not surprised by that. I mean, that's why I think we're probably going to be third now, unfortunately. As long as nobody else gets hurt in the AFC North, I just don't see us. I mean, maybe we'll match up better with Baltimore at the end of the season, but
Yeah, we'll see. Pittsburgh's kind of scary.
um, yeah. Week 2 recap. We'll probably throw the ad in that spot if they give us one. I'm always undecided on where to like cut it and do it because I don't want to like break anything off, and because we never usually, even though we have our like headers, like we never are like, hey, week 2 recap, week 3 preview, like
Yeah.
so like I know right before that to do it. Whatever, doesn't matter. Um, our score guesses. What the hell? We suck at that part of this podcast. Like
Yeah, no,
they
I mean, I don't think I've ever hit a score.
like but we were like mine was like it was either 17-10 or 24-10 and it was 17-13 at half.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. I don't remember what I said. I can't remember for the life of me, but
It's probably in there. One of our great fans let us know on at Browns Out of Town.
at me.
Somebody's keeping track. But no, you put in here Baker looked solid. I think he looked good.
Yeah.
We talked about it the one week. Like he's gonna have the like random pick because he's trying to do too much, and I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
just gonna be like it's the Brett Favre gene. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is he had the game that we needed him to have, and if he plays like that the rest of the season, we'll be okay. I don't need him making plays that he shouldn't be trying to make and forcing the ball to people he shouldn't be forcing the ball to, and he's got to be put in the situations by the coaching staff that will make him look good. So get him out of the pocket, run the ball, and have him throw off play action.
Yeah, run the ball forever because you got like Nick Chubb was unstoppable. Kareem Hunt is just Nick Chubb's the best running back in the NFL. I'm gonna say it. He's the best. It doesn't matter. I mean, Aaron Jones is making an argument because he can like you can put him out as a wide receiver, but Nick Chubb
Yeah,
looks great. He's
yeah,
catching the ball. He's running over people. Kareem Hunt. I mean, with that 1-2 punch, like there's no reason not to run the ball the first 2 downs every single time,
yeah,
and then if it's 3rd and 4 or less, run the ball again.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
keep running.
Just go for it on 4th down. Who cares? Yeah. I think Chubb could win the title this year if it weren't for Hunt. If Hunt wasn't on the team, he'd win the title. Yeah, but
Which is fine. I mean, if you look at like the big teams recently that like go deep in there, like they don't have the feature back. Like they have another one that's there, and
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah.
kind of spread it out more.
I mean, Tennessee rode Derrick Henry to the AFC Championship game last year, but yeah, that doesn't happen that often.
Sorry, the phone just went off and it was a
No, you're good.
distraction. Odell did look better. That one big play that was early, like you can't That's, I think, what he's gonna be. Like, he's not gonna be feed him the ball all the time. 4 for 74 and a touchdown is perfect for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if he has games like that, I would like to see him have a couple more catches. You can't ask for 2 touchdowns every game, but just be more of a threat to open up other guys. Because right now, I don't know if teams are taking him seriously as of week 1. Hopefully, they'll take him a little more seriously after this game and open up opportunities for other guys.
Yeah, I mean, he caught the ball. He didn't drop any passes. He didn't like look bad. Like, he was there. He did what he needed to do. He opened the field up. And that's kind of how our offense, I think, needs to go. Like, you work through the run, but you have the big time players to catch it. Like, to me, like, it seems very like New England to me. Like, you do it through short passing plays and running the ball with
Yep.
your 2 or 3 backs, and then when you need to, you have Randy Moss down the field to catch it. Like, that's what Odell is, and
Yeah.
Landry's are Julian Edelman. Like, you just pick them apart, and I think that's what they need to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
The tight ends. Somebody pointed out in like the broadcast, and because we had talked about it, and maybe it was just me not knowing much about Austin Hooper, but like they basically brought him in. Like, he was a good tight end, and he probably looked better in passing situations because Matt Ryan throws the ball 1,000 times. But
Right.
like they were talking about how he's a monster in the running game for blocking. Like he's more of a block first tight end, and he's killing it, which is
Yeah.
great. Like, they're
And
doing
that's
a
what
good job.
Njoku isn't. So that'll help.
And I mean, the other kid Bryant or whatever, like, he catches the ball. Like, when they get the
Yeah.
opportunity to get the ball thrown to them, they don't drop it, they don't mess it up. Like, they catch it, they do what they're supposed to do. Like, they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I mean, as far as drops go, Odell's the only one that's had issues so far this season. So
And
everything else,
it's a good
that's a
problem that it's
decent.
one person. Like, and it's
Because it
like
used
we
to be
got blown
everybody.
out in week 1. Yes, and it's
It
like one
used
of
to be
those, like,
everybody. Yeah,
when you can nitpick like on who's doing what wrong, that's probably the best Browns problem to have in the
yep,
history of the Browns.
for sure.
And then I tease it a little bit. Is the defense terrible, or is it because we're missing half of them, or is it a blend?
I think it's a blend. I think the defensive line is very solid. Miles had a pretty good game. Some of the guys coming off the bench, to cover for
Sheldon
Louis
Richardson's an animal.
looks good. Yeah, I mean, we have some good depth at on the line itself. The linebackers, excuse me, linebackers need some help. But again, I think that's due to a little bit of injuries. We obviously we're missing Joe Schobert, but we're not going to get him back for other reasons. Mac Wilson's hurt, so that sucks. And then the secondary just has me so scared because you don't know when any of those guys are coming back.
Is Greedy Williams ever going to play football?
I think he's supposed to come back. I think he's week to week. I know Delpit's out for the year, but I think Greedy's supposed to come back at some point. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, I mean, because he missed after week 3 last year, and everybody was like, "All right, is it because they don't want to play football or what?" But he's just been hurt the whole time.
Yeah. Let's see. This is the 21st. You got Pete Smith with SI saying that Greedy, Kevin Johnson, and Mac Wilson all participated in practice on Monday. So we'll see what happens.
We
Bring those
might
guys
have a
back. That'd be
defense.
nice.
Yeah, that'd be really cool because, like, I think it is a mix, but I mean, you also can't, like, Denzel Ward looked like Denzel Ward again, so that's good.
Yeah.
He had a good game. You just can't have him and then Sendejo, who just like he just still doesn't. He's not. He doesn't know how to football. I
Yeah.
don't think.
He doesn't know football. Yeah. Ronnie Harrison got a couple snaps. He didn't play too much on Thursday, but he's supposed to play a little more this week too. So that'll help at safety.
Yeah, we just need like I feel like that would be the call that somebody needs to make because what's his nuts is still out there. Earl Thomas, bring him in. It can't hurt anything. Just bring him in, put him on the field. He can't be worse than what we have out there.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope the depth comes back because people come off the injury reports and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
We've got cap room. Just sign him for the year. Week 3 preview. I'm excited to see how we're gonna do against the Rob Lowe NFL logo team because that's who the Washington football team is. He called it. He was the harbinger of death. Like he was just like, yeah, you guys are making fun of me. I'm just a big DC football fan, and this is what we have.
They should just switch to that logo because the W looks kind of stupid. Just be
I
the
mean, the whole
Washington
thing,
NFL team.
it is aged worse since they've been really bad. Like it's like I was like, this is a great idea. Like maybe they'll keep it, and now it's just going to be a lost season for them completely.
Nah, no, they're 1-1. They're not bad. They look good
They're
against
going to
the
be
Eagles.
1-2.
Yeah. Well,
It's
hopefully.
gonna they're gonna break their we're gonna break their spirits this week because like I don't think Philly is like I'm surprised that they're 0-2, but
Yeah.
after the 2 weeks of them, I'm not surprised. I don't think they're good. So I think they like Washington just came back and beat a bad Philly team. I think the
Yeah.
Cardinals are good and flashy, but I don't think that they're like that good where they should have done what they did to Washington. Like I feel
Yeah.
like that was the question is like do you think that we're worse than the Cardinals or better than the Eagles? I think we're like right in between them, and I think we're like a level above Washington where that's one of the teams we should beat.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. It's I think the Cardinals are flashy because it's, Kyler Murray's second year, still trying to get used to his style of play. New weapon with Hopkins, and I think they'll get played out. So
Yeah, and I think people will figure them out a little bit. But like the big thing, and especially with like I know it's not the way that it all works, but like the spread last week was originally 7.5, went down to 5.5, and then like it's 7 points this week is what it's opening right now.
yeah,
Um, and the football team lost an offensive lineman over the weekend too. So I mean, like you don't want to lose a person against when you have them coming up, when you have Miles Garrett and Sheldon Richardson right lined up across from you.
right.
But they got spanked 30-15 against the Cardinals, and I don't think anybody thinks the Cardinals are a 30-15 team.
I think that's probably about right. Against the Redskins, or not the Redskins, sorry, the Washington
Come
football
on,
team.
Jimmy, you fucking racist.
Got taken down off YouTube.
All right, we're gonna send somebody over to give him his 10 lashes. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it. But I mean, they beat the 49ers 24-20. The Cardinals beat the 49ers 24-20 at the 49ers. But I mean, I don't think the 49ers are the 49ers this year.
No.
I don't think the football team is like they did a Baltimore to us to the Washington football team, and I
Yeah.
don't think the Cardinals are
Yeah.
that good. So that means Washington can't be that good when
Right.
Baltimore is obviously that good.
So
I
you
just think that
cover?
we have I don't know. That's
They
the
should.
hard part.
They should is what they should.
After last week, I don't believe in us covering it at all because I mean we didn't touch it, but like I feel like that game was not as close as the score said because we were in
I was
control
gonna
the
say
whole
that.
time.
Yeah, that makes sense because that garbage time touchdown at the end, and then the Bengals didn't look that good. I don't really get the hype for Joe Burrow. Joe Buck was going crazy on him Thursday
I
night.
like him. I like how he plays. We skimmed over it in the notes, but like, did he miss on a fourth down play? Like,
No,
if every play is like that big time,
yeah,
like
we did
I
talk
want
about
Joe
that.
Burrow in there.
Yeah,
But like, he just doesn't. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense.
yeah,
And I think Baker's gonna be a better quarterback just because I feel like Joe Burrow is just gonna get killed behind that offensive line. Like he's just gonna
yeah,
be broken.
yeah.
Um,
We'll see.
but oh, the other question for the spread. I don't know if they cover. I bet you we beat them by 6 or something like that. Like it's like a
Yeah,
late 6 where they come back or they're trying to. But we are at home, which I mean, there's people there, and obviously we played better, but we also played a worse team. Like, do you think home field matters until fans are allowed in the stadium?
no, not really.
Like, but do you even think like, but the big thing to me would be like the travel. Like, I know it's a pain in the
Sure.
ass for everybody, but I don't know if it would be like to me, it's like, oh, we get to leave and go to another town. Like we're actually like you rally around that. Like you'd be more excited to like go play or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't they usually do like a team hotel the night before, like downtown. I don't know if they're still doing that or not with COVID and everything, but I thought that they stayed in like a hotel downtown even before home games.
I think they used to stay at like the DoubleTree or something
Yeah,
outside of
to like keep
Cleveland,
the
like something
routine the
random.
same. But um, yeah, I don't know how home field really works. Are they pumping in crowd noise into the stadium, or is it just the broadcast?
Yeah,
You know?
so the broadcast is the different track that NFL Films made for each stadium. The into the in the stadium themselves, it is the 70 decibels. I don't know if they're doing that with the crowd in the stands.
Oh, so like if the Browns have fans, are they pumping it in still? I know they are for the broadcast, but
Yeah, which is
maybe not
dumb.
for
Like,
the.
just do the sound. 6,000 people's enough.
No, I want to hear. Just have it on a 20-second delay and just bleep out the F word if you got it. I want to hear the on-field mics. That's my
Yeah, I
favorite
want
thing
to hear
about
that.
watching UFC fights is hearing the guys talk to each other now with no fans in there. You know,
And it's just like it just feels like really weird that like they could
so weird.
almost just make it like, hey, sports don't have fans anymore.
Yeah,
Like it's like a really weird like conspiracy. Like they're gonna take away like mass gatherings because they don't want us to be around each other. Like, but
yeah.
it's like very like they're getting us ready for that.
It's probably not like a big deal, but because I was focusing on it, it was driving me crazy while I was watching the games this weekend. Like I was like, oh, that's fake crowd noise. Oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, and it's like the people aren't that good at it. Like it'll be like a pass breakup and then like or it'll be something and then like it's that like half second of like the crowd noise.
Yeah,
Because on the McAfee show again, like Matt Hasselbeck was talking about like playing quarterback when you had the crowd around you, like it almost helped you because like if their D end came off unblocked, you could like hear the crowd like
yeah.
anticipate like getting
Like
hit. So like you almost
if
know
he's
like
on your
something's
blind
gonna
side,
happen.
you at least know he's coming. Maybe. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's like, you at least kind of know what's going on somewhere. Like you know something's happening if the crowd notices it. So like
that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
yeah, and like but like that split second of like there'll be a pass breakup and then it'll be like a beat and then it'll be like yeah. It's like no, the people saw that coming the whole time. Like they would like get that swell going.
Yeah.
I did have who wins. We got an OSU quarterback versus an OSU cornerback. And I think that Denzel Ward is gonna look great against what's his
Dwayne
nuts.
Haskins. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he gets a pick. That'd be nice. Hasn't had one yet this year. He's due for one.
I don't believe in Dwayne Haskins as much as many people do. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't that great.
I'm not a big Ohio State quarterback fan. I like him while they're there, but
I like Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields would be a good. I know it's like a very Homer Buckeyes to the Browns. Like if Baker ends up like tailing off at the end of the season
yeah.
or whatever, I feel like Justin Fields would be a good quarterback in our system.
Yeah, maybe. I always think he's too skinny, but so is Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray looks great. So who knows?
You can't hit the quarterback anymore. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's true.
Um, and then keys to the game. We I put run the goddamn ball until like only when the legs fall off of the running backs should we pass the ball. Like
That should
there's
be the
no
mindset.
reason to put
Yeah,
the ball in the air.
yeah, that should be the mindset for sure.
Make field goals. Don't even take field goals. How about that one? Don't take field goals because
Yep.
Cody Parkey is the point after touchdown goat. 4 for 4 last week,
Yep.
killing the game. Like we don't need him to do anything fancy. Just run the ball into the end zone. Let him kick the PAT.
Yep. Just hope he makes a couple kicks in the pregame warm-ups, because that sets a good tone. So he
Yeah,
missed two in the pregame last week, but whatever. It worked out okay.
Myles Garrett has Myles Garrett gotten a sack yet?
I think he had one against the Bengals. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he had the strip, which I mean the point I wanted to make. It's not like a Myles Garrett isn't doing anything. It's like Myles Garrett is doing so much, but not like the it's not on the stat sheet. Like the strip is a big thing. He got a fumble recovery in week 1. Like he's just doing a lot out there, and he looks real good doing it, but it's not like he's like coming up with huge sacks. And I don't know if that's going to hurt his defensive player of the year thing if he doesn't start doing more of that. But I mean, I'm a big fan of what he's doing this year.
Yeah. Yeah. What Miles, did last year was he got a lot of neutral zone infractions because he was coming off the ball so quick. It looked like he was offsides, but he actually wasn't. That's just how he's so good, is because he looks faster than he than he should be. But
He did get one offside in this week's game,
yeah,
but I
that's
mean,
what I was
he
thinking.
didn't do
I'm
it
thinking it's
again.
probably the same reasoning. I didn't look at it again, but every time I see him getting offsides, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he actually was. Look at that again. But
He did get one sack against Cincinnati. I think they probably counted that strip as a sack.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, because he's hitting the QB, he's not but he's sucking up that whole side of the field. Like this is kind of almost what we wanted the defensive line to look like last year, and kind of what I probably thought it was going to be when Sheldon Richardson came. I feel like Sheldon Richardson looks so much better because Myles Garrett's on that line too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And if Olivier Vernon ever touches a football field again, I mean, I feel like he'll look good too. He's a weapon. Like he might not be as good as what they're paying him to be,
Yeah,
and what we gave up, but I mean, he was good.
yeah. It makes you feel better about the depth, is since he wasn't there, the guy stepped up for him, so that's nice.
Yeah, and I mean Vernon can. Oh yeah, the white dude with the mustache who was just like on the ball all the time. What was his name? Like
I don't know.
Curran or something like that.
I got to know the defense a little better. We don't have a
I'm gonna
podcast
find his
or
name.
anything.
Porter Gustin,
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
crushing it, dude. Like he looked great, but I mean, on the bench, or like Olivier Vernon, was he that great? And has he been that great? No, but he could even play like kind of linebacker a little bit, because that was like the whole point of him. Is like he's
Yeah,
like that in
drop
between.
back
Like
linebacker.
it's good to have him in there. So I don't think that's a downside. What is your, since this is the worst section of the week? What is your score idea for this week?
See, the Cardinals, you said, beat them 30-15. Is that
Yeah.
right?
And just so you know, they won 27-17 against Philadelphia.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
And the spread 7.
I'll go 24-17. Yeah, 24-17 Browns.
I think it's going to be like a 27, because we're going to miss a point after touchdown. Even though Cody Park is the GOAT, and I'm going to retweet that every time he makes something because I want the good energy to go to him. But I feel like we're going to miss it. Either that or he makes 2 field goals. That we're going to do it
Okay.
that way. He makes 2
Yeah.
field goals instead of missing a PAT. So
Yeah.
27-17. I think we cover. I'm gonna hammer that we cover the spread. I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised if it was like 27-23 though, because they throw a late touchdown and like go
Right.
for 2 and try to do
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Update on the scores. I'm 1-1. You're 2-0 on the season pick. So that's good. We both have the Browns winning this weekend. So,
Yep.
Best case scenario. I mean, the only one that I could catch up on is week 5 at Indy. Which I think now I might change that to a win because they have not looked great.
Yeah, Indy has not looked good. I might even
But again,
change the
Philip
Dallas game.
Rivers.
I mean, we could win. We could win against Dallas next week too. So.
I feel like Dallas's win this weekend. We didn't even talk about it at all. That shitty like onside kick.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
The Falcons don't know how to play football.
No. They said they didn't
like,
understand the rules.
How do I know the rules and you don't know
Yeah,
the rules?
that's
Like
crazy.
I know it's different when you're in the game, but you're whatever. I don't know. I feel like that might have brought like the Dallas team together. I feel like that might make them more dangerous. I know Atlanta's not great, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think that one. But all right. As for me, nothing big until November. You can listen to this podcast. That'd be helpful. Do that. My album's still out there. It's on Tidal now. I saw that, so that's kind of cool. If you want to listen to that, at Who is Ray Roberts on everything, whoisrayroberts.com. Beers, Bourbon, Barbecue. Anything big going on there? Any brisket projects or something?
No, not right now. I have a wedding this weekend, so I won't be doing anything this weekend for it. Maybe the weekend after that, though, hopefully. Actually, no, that's my sister's shower. So, no, nothing in the foreseeable future. I'm pretty busy on the weekends coming up.
Are you gonna do? When's the wedding? Is that Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
Okay, so that's not gonna get in the way of Cigar Sunday, which is
Nope. We should be good.
cool. Might have to go with something a little bit cheaper because this is rent week, I
Getting a little
believe.
expensive of a hobby for you.
I mean, it's not that much. It's just bonus check hasn't come yet, and like
Yeah.
cell phone and car payment are this week, and then rent's next week. So like, I need to carry some of that money over.
I got a black and mild for you here if you want it. I'll send it to you.
Hells yeah, I'll get on some black and
Actually,
mild action. Is it wine?
There you go. Wine tip. Wood tips. Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's gotta be. If I know Jimmy Crawford, I know it's wine tip black and milds.
Yeah. That's been in there for like 3 years since I moved into this house.
Still fresh.
Pretty sure
They're
it moved
still
with me.
fresh.
Yeah. I got to move it into the humidor.
One of these days we'll have to tell the hookah story, but today's not that day.
Today is not the day. Nope.
Dude, that was the worst. We'll go over it at some point. I don't
we
know.
won't.
Nothing else. Back to the normal schedule because we don't have a Thursday game anymore. So back on the normal schedule, Cigar Sunday, probably around the same time, but we'll make it whenever we need to.
Yep.
At Browns Out of Town for everything. Rate, review, subscribe, share. YouTube needs a little help, so watch on YouTube if you want. But definitely watch Cigar Sundays because those are fun. I'm trying to pull it up to see, because I mean, last time I looked, it had some views on it. I don't want to watch it. I want to see how many views. 12 views. So I mean, that's not terrible. People are watching it. We have how many followers? Not that many, and so
I'll
a
take
good
it.
amount of them.
Good start.
So yeah, we're rolling. The biggest thing is people doing it. So, all right. Anything else, James?
No, I'm good.
All right, I'm gonna try to do this without hanging up this time. Everybody, have a good week and go Browns.
Go Browns.